We're back live for Game 3 of 4, Day 2 of the NPA Nationals here at Sheridan College in Brampton. Jason Tom here. And I would like to introduce Carlin Gay on the mic for the first time in this NPA season, making the trip up for Charlotte. We have people from all over Canada and North America coming in, including our man Carlin Gay. Thank you for joining us.
What a welcome. I could not miss this for the world. I mean, you're talking about the national championships at the high school level. How could I miss this, Jay?
Well, I'm glad you made it up, and you'll be hearing a lot of the name Luis Pacheco Jr., one of the stars of our league, and he starts things up for Crestwood, who are playing their first game of the NPA Nationals, and there's his fellow Twin Tower, Joe Smith. Ooh, steal and sent back to Dula with the swat. Oh, Jacoby Neath! The Deacon smashing it home.
Looking like his head coach in his prime. New head coach Danny Manning, getting up high and finishing. I mean, what a play. It looked like he came off a trampoline. You remember slam ball?
Yep.
That was slam ball right there.
And that just came out of nowhere. I mean, Jacoby, warm up your legs a little.
Jeez.
This is 30 seconds into the game. He's crowning a dude. I mean, I don't know if he's stretched. Cam Harris, no good.
It's interesting, both these teams playing their first game, as you said, in a tournament, and you expect both teams to come out with some nerves. We see this at every level. When it's a single elimination style tournament, you kind of want to impose your will on the game as the tournament goes along.
And Crestwood, they have some dogs, and that's another one from range. Kobe Antwi, one of the finalists for Academic Athlete of the Year in the NPA. We'll be announcing our award winners after Saturday's game, and Jacoby Neath may hear his name called a couple of times when it comes to award winners, and one right there. He'll go to the line looking for 3.
Yeah, I mentioned imposing your will, and a quick timeout here from Oakville. Crestwood's a team, as you know, Jay, all along, they want to get out and kind of speed the tempo up. When we talked earlier in the week, you mentioned to me that this is a team that scores in bunches. They'll probably put triple digits up on the board in most of their games, and we're seeing why early on. Yeah,
Crestwood, the number 2 ranked team in NPA Nationals, taking on Oakville Prep here. Oakville Prep with the upset over London Basketball Academy yesterday, and they played huge behind Jordan Persad. And early in this game, it was Jacoby Neath getting it done, and Jacoby Neath, as we had mentioned, committed to Wake Forest.
Basketball gyms in Canada are packed with talent, and that includes every age group on the girls' side as well. This summer, North Pole Hoops held its first ever Ontario Girls Showcase, where 70 players were there to learn.
Developed his body now. He's made himself into a high major prospect in terms of getting in the weight room, developing his body. He was a little bit, I don't want to say chubby, but he was rounder than he was now. He's more cut, and that's from me seeing him probably 6 months ago to now. And that athleticism's come along with him. So a guy that could be playing in March at the next level for years to come.
Absolutely, and a guy who we don't talk about his basketball IQ quite enough. He's almost like a second coach out on the floor out there. Jordan Persad, I mean, if Oakville Prep is going to have any hope in this game, Jordan Persad is going to have to be an absolute star, and he has been that way this season for Oakville Prep. See, they've scouted that backdoor cut, because usually it's Jacoby Neath cutting on the back door. So it's funny, when he has the ball in his hands, sometimes people go to sleep on that. But as you saw right there, Oakville Prep had that scouted.
Good response from Oakville Prep. You like to see teams respond well to timeouts. 2 quick baskets, the 1 defensive play on the other end. That's how you come out of a timeout and get rid of those nerves, as I was talking about early on.
That ball did not touch the ground, Carlin, and they got it up 3 passes, and they had 2. I mean, Oakville Prep getting the positive start they needed against a team like, if you have Joe Smith hitting foul line jumpers like that, he's a 2021, the Alabama Slammer coming up from down south. Pacheco stepping in. Kobe Antwi. Neath. Thomas can't give him any room. Oh, he's got to warm up a bit. A little long on that. Ooh, nice touch, Jacoby. Three in the key.
That time, that was the first time Crestwood had a little trouble in terms of their spacing. They really weren't forcing Oakville to defend the entire area of the floor. Made it easy for them to sit that in that zone and really kind of force them to the help defender. And they came away with a good defensive possession, did Oakville that time.
Cam Harris, he is quick. Yeah, that's a goaltender.
Talk about quickness. He got that up on the glass pretty quickly.
You have to when you got Luis Pacheco back there. Trevon Thomas, the owner of the single game scoring record in NPA history, had 51 points in a game earlier this season in our Ottawa session.
And that's nothing to sneeze at. We go crazy in the NBA, at the NBA level, when guys go for 50, and they're playing 12-minute quarters. This is in 10-minute quarters, 4 10-minute quarters, and a guy's dropping a 50-burger.
It was an impressive feat up in the Central session, hosted by our national champs, Canada Top Flight Academy out of Ottawa. Persad pushing back the other way. Look at that pass. Jordan Persad to Cam Harris.
Coach Michael Smith of Oakville Prep told me minutes before tip, Jordan Persad is probably one of the best passers he's seen at this level. You saw right there why.
Nice hands by Cam Harris. They're getting after it out there. Ooh, that's a foul. No call. Luis Pacheco. No good. Joe Smith getting after it. They're letting him play.
Some people may complain about that. I, on the other hand, enjoy that. When it's single elimination, you don't want the refs to take over the game. You want the players to be allowed to play that style. My only question will be, is that going to go throughout the game? And we can't let it get out of hand. There's a fine line between the two.
Well, the PO refs here are very willing to listen, and I mean, they know what's on the line here. They know these kids have played this entire season for this platform. They don't want to take it away from them with a ton of whistles or chintzy calls. Just have to make sure the coaches are on board with that too. Trevon Thomas, 2 off glass.
I don't think the coaches are the only ones you'd have to worry about. It's a packed house here in Brampton today.
Yeah, not bad for a Thursday 5 p.m. game. We know by the time Friday hits, we're going to get jammed up.
That's twice Harris went in there and wasn't going there with a purpose. He kind of was looking for a foul call and paid the price on the other end with a 3.
There's Thomas from downtown. Like the scouting report on Crestwood is guard everybody. Guard everybody tight. I mean, they're up 16-8, and we haven't even said the name Elijah Fisher yet.
Yeah. And everybody who's watching who doesn't know the name Elijah Fisher, we're about to find out what he's all about here.
I mean, they run almost 0 plays for this kid. 2023, obviously, lots of time. And, they obviously have a bunch of other guys on this squad who can score. I mean, this kid averages about 14, 15 a game just purely on breakouts and broken plays. Can't wait to see what happens when they eventually start featuring him in the offense.
He's efficient too. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's shooting 57% from the field. He missed that first free throw, but he's a 73% free throw shooter. You want to see that creep up to the 80s, but he'll get there. 2023, there's, as you said, plenty of time.
Abdullah hands it off to Jordan Persad. Cam Harris coming out to set the screen. Persad goes the opposite way. And so buttery with that jumper is Jordan Persad.
He might have to do more of that as the game goes along. We know about his passing. We know he can get his team involved, but to keep up with the scoring of Crestwood, he might have to take a couple jump shots and be a little more selfish on the floor as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Fisher's off.
When you talk about the next steps for an Elijah Fisher's game, and I hate to do it early, Again, 2023, that's the next step. He's only shooting 32% from 3. The game is moving towards guys being able to shoot the 3 at every single position. Well, I guess if he has teammates knocking out 3-pointers like that, may not have to.
I loved it. The scouting report, I guess, said, let Kobe Antwi shoot. And the bench said, you at least got to put your hands up.
I think they're counting that one. Much to the chagrin of head coach Ro Russell. See him there on camera. He's done a good job with this team this year. I mean, getting them to number 2 in the nation. Does have talent, but you still have to produce and put them in positions to be successful.
I mean, it's great to have talent, but I mean, you have to manage a lot of egos. You have to make sure that the guys that you have in the positions were ready to play the role that you need them to play to be successful. Ooh, all kinds of contact. And I mean, and then Ashraf Chadua, who you see checked in number 40 there. I mean, he was starting alongside Luis Pacheco earlier in this year, and with the addition of Joe Smith, came in about a month after the season started, after getting everything worked out coming up from Alabama. I mean, but Chadua now gets pushed back, and I mean, that's the type of depth that this squad has. There's Kobe Antwi. I mean, another underrated player in this league because he plays on Crestwood. If he was on any other team in this league, he'd be a top scorer.
That's a better take that time from Cam Harris. Going to the tin strong. The last 2 attempts from him, he was looking to get hit, looking to get that contact. Another 3-pointer knocked down there by Antwi. But Cam Harris has to use his size. He has it. Has it at this level. He has the body mass, especially if they're going to run the 2-man game, he and Prasad.
There's Harris. Ooh. I mean, I lost him behind the ref. I don't even know how he got from the one side to the rim to the other, but that was lacking everything. I mean, had everything except the finish.
But there again, he wasn't looking for contact. He was looking to finish first. If he continues that, he's going to get a lot of points in the paint going forward.
The winner of this game will take on the Toronto Basketball Academy, who just knocked off RNS. That was the 5 seed, taking out the 3 seed.
It's a good look. Here you see the skill.
Sorry, 6 seed taking off 3 seed. Just have to correct myself before I make that mistake. Sorry.
There's people at home that already have their brackets filled.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting to have my Twitter blow up with corrections. Prasad again, man, that court vision. And I mean, we talked about this Crestwood's offense, but Crestwood also has a 2nd-ranked defense in the NPA, and they have 6 of the top 10 steal leaders in the entire league on this squad. So I mean, to see Jordan Prasad pick apart the defense the way he has been. I mean, this is not an easy defense to do that with.
And it's the length, the size. As you mentioned, they're very deep, so guys can rotate with fresh bodies that are, you know, a 6'6" guy walks off the floor. Here comes another 6'6" guy with length, energy, and bounce. And Prasad's going to have to try to navigate through that all game long. Like I said, he'll be able to knife through them with the passing. He'll be a little bit more aggressive scoring-wise. They might be able to keep close.
They are giving up a lot of size, but they're trying to get after it on the glass. Transition, Fisher. Abdullah Allah seems to be the guy that has to try to hold it down underneath the rim. That is not an easy job with all the bigs that Crestwood has. Sheared kick out, stepped out of bounds though, back the other way. I mean, it feels like Oakville is playing a good game here. They've allowed 29 points. We've still got 2 minutes to go. This is what I'm saying, right? This is, you know, you're grading on a bell curve when you're talking about Crestwood right here.
But on the flip side of that, it's still so early. There's still so much time left to chip away.
You hear Ro Russell saying, one more pass.
Hardest thing to do in basketball is keep a big lead. And it's a game of runs. You could be on the wrong end of a 10-0 run just like that. That's what makes this game fun. Oakville, I mean, they have that sort of spurt ability.
Spurt ability?
They do.
Is that Do I know that from 2K?
It's a Clark. I think it's a Clark Kellogg.
Yeah, that's exactly where it's from. Lead still at 13. Crestwood with 6 players that average double figure in the points per game category this season. Thomas, Antwi, Jacoby in the corner. Step back 3, no, long 2, no good anyways. Pacheco, the Brooklyn native, back up for 2.
If Oakville's going to play that defense, they're going to have to make sure they box out in space. Hardest thing to do when you're playing zone, as we see a foul on the floor here. It's Trayvon Thomas picking up the foul. I think that's his second. The hardest thing to do when you play zone is to find a body to box out. And if you allow Crestwood to get second and third opportunities of basketball, it could be a very long night.
In transition, Thomas, almost lost it. I think he was trying to give it up to see if there was anybody with him who could throw it down. Crestwood's all about that momentum if they can grab it, and the dunk can do that.
He was thinking about Showtime before the tickets were sold.
It's like, is Elijah behind me? No. Okay. Jacoby? No. Okay. All right. I'll just lay it up. Ooh, that's a push off to the face. Fisher ahead. Who's going to take it? Jacoby knees, two-handed slam.
Call that one the back scratcher. Had that one touch the small of his back before throwing it down. Already 2 dunks and counting. Do we have a dunk counter here for this game? Might need one.
Check out social media after the game. I'm sure they'll whip something up. End of the quarter. 35-16. 19-point lead for the Crestwood Preparatory College Lions. Stay with us. Second quarter action after this break.
We've traveled across the country and back. 6 years running. Canada's basketball talent blossoms right before our eyes. From coast to coast. It's our job to bring it to the light. No gimmicks, just hard work on the hardwood. Who will step up to the plate this summer? Who will make their game undeniable and challenge every man in front of him? Game will speak.
This camp is just the beginning for these girls, who will now be tracked throughout their high school years and given valuable information they need to make informed decisions about their future.
You get athletes to be able to recognize and see the programs that are available, and you get these programs to see the raw talent. Being able to track someone's progress as young as grade 9, you see potential. So you want to track her progress. You want to see how is she improving, how is she getting better. We're giving that exposure as young as grade 7. And now, you track how they are at the second showcase. It just increasingly had exponential development. And now we're showcasing their.
And we're back. Crestwood up 19 in this quarter of basketball. Brought to you by Indochino. You'll see our coaches here at NPA Nationals suited up, courtesy the made-to-measure experience, thanks to everyone at Indochino. They got showrooms across Canada, 11 in total, 6 of those in cities where we have NPA programs. So to suit up all of our coaches, it was extremely easy. And every one of them had that made-to-measure experience, Carlin, and we cannot thank Indochino enough for their partnership in NPA Season 3.
I don't want you to act as if the coaches are only best-dressed people in here. I mean, I'm sitting next to a guy who is rocking the finest of materials from those at Indochino as well.
And we got matching grays.
We do. We planned it.
I was about to say, we didn't even plan it. Yeah, no, it's definitely a different feeling in this league this season, thanks in part to our partnership with Indochino.
if you're Oakville, it's one possession at a time. You can't score a 19-point basket. It's one possession at a time, and I think Prasad's going to have to really be the leader in getting them back in this.
Cam Harris hasn't had it today. Oh, a little volleyball spike on the interception there. Also got to shout out Fuji Films for hooking us up with these posters that you see littered around this gymnasium and in the hallways here at the Sheridan College Athletic Center. Just putting our players on display. Jacoby Neath with the and one finish. You know, the NPA is all about, you know, exposure, but on top of that, it's all about making these kids feel as special as they should be with the work that they put in to be these student athletes, to put in the work in school to be able to gain that post-secondary education, but then also having to double up and do the schedule that's put in front of them to play prep level basketball.
There's a high level of standard at this level that, you know, wasn't always around. You know, it's something that's new in Canada and much appreciated, a long time coming. And shout out to the student athletes for not only coming to the party, but raising that bar and keeping it at a high level for the next generation to come. It feels like every time something good happens for Oakville, they knock down the three there, they kind of fall asleep, and then Crestwood's right back at them and getting a chance at the rim.
Campbell, no good.
You want to see Campbell go a little stronger than that.
Yeah, I think they're seeing the size that's put in front of them in the paint by Crestwood, and they are just starting to shy away from taking it into the paint, that's for sure.
Pacheco Jr. definitely the landlord at the moment. He hasn't collected rent as far as I can see, but he's owning the paint so far. There he is, another tip-away ball for a leak out.
Jacoby Neath, number 3 on the rim visits today.
That's one of those that Fuji Films might put up on the wall next year at NPA National Championship Final Weekend.
Absolutely. We love to show respect to our alumni. So we have a couple taking part in March Madness, including our reigning NPA MVP, Jashawn Henry at Bradley.
They put up a fight today against Michigan State, leading at half.
Really?
They were.
Came up short in the end.
Tell you who's not coming up short. Kobe Antwin is knocking him down from downtown.
He is an understated individual, is Kobe Antwi, and he has to play his role here when he has the dogs that he has on his squad, like a Luis Pacheco Jr. Also up for Defensive Player of the Year, Luis Pacheco Jr., brought to you by Pro Fusion, your power performer, averaging a double-double on the season.
And that's not easy, especially when you're coming off the bench. You know, we talked about how deep this team is. You see some of the highlights inside, and a lot of that is intimidation. You know, a guy who's not laying it up softly, but really attacking the rim. See the back to the basket stuff. It's almost like a forgotten, you know, part of the game for big men. Pacheco Jr. is kind of like a throwback in that aspect, and still can step out and knock it down from outside.
I have to give it up to Ro Russell. He's been able to develop a Luis Pacheco Jr. coming out of Brooklyn, made that jump from the U.S. to Canada last season, and has really expanded his game into the post, not just a rim runner, not just a block and send the others out in transition kind of guy. I think the other thing that I like in talking to Luis Pacheco Sr., he said, you know, down in New York, everyone's like, why is your son going to Canada to play basketball? And he just says to him, go on NPAcanada.com and tell me why I wouldn't take that opportunity. Crestwood providing a private school education, and then the NPA providing the type of exposure and video production that we put behind it. Full stats on NPAcanada.com, and then, of course, with Ro Russell's connections in the U.S. basketball community, he also gets the opportunity to go down there and play high-level tournaments.
I mean, I don't need to say anything more than that. That's the laundry list of reasons why you should come up, play here in the NPA. Most important, high level of academic standard. You get the high level of basketball standard, the coaching, skill development.
Great health care.
That too. Kind of missed that down south.
We don't have a president. Just leave it at that.
It only took us a quarter and a half.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's known around the world. You know, Canada very welcoming in a lot of different ways, and I think we're going to see an influx of basketball players, not just from the U.S., but from all over the world. And, you know, we have seen it already. You know, we've seen a number of Eastern European players in the NPA, and obviously the Bahamas as well.
I'm waiting for it to happen the other way where, you know, the NPA flies me out to the Bahamas. I wouldn't mind going out there to do a game.
Well, North Pole Hoops did do their first ever American broadcast with the Chet Mason Invitational.
That's a start.
Not far enough south for you, eh? Ohio in January?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not in January either.
Tristan Jones loved the trip to Northern Ohio in January. That just, you know, he said, I will take off work for that vacation.
It's a tougher guy than I am. I don't miss the winters in Canada.
And we're going to drive there too? Beautiful.
That's a good job there down low.
Chadua picking up the foul.
That's a good job there down low by Oakville. I mean, they're down double digits.
Giving up a tremendous amount of size.
A lot of size, and, you know, most are anticipating the game to kind of go this way, but they're still in it. And still fighting, and that's what you want to see. Oh.
Ooh. Elijah Fisher, lefty finish, English off glass.
I mean, come on. You could play as good a defense as you can on your best day. A move like that will humble you.
Ooh, Jordan Prasad, shiny dime, putting it on a platter. And this is a kid that came back from the U.S. prep school scene, went down there, said, you know what? I think I can come back home, play in the NPA, and get what I need. This kid has been a star this season.
And for those who joined late, head coach Michael Smith said he is one of the best passers he's ever seen at this level. Can't call him a liar after seeing a pass like that.
You know, and it's been a tough season for Prasad because, I mean, this is an Oakville squad that got a late start on the recruiting. You know, program director Melvin Brown has a lot of connections in Ohio. We'll be able to bring in some, you know, additional players from that talent pool down there. He's also going to be able to pull from, obviously, the Southern Ontario region here out of Oakville. And then he's going to be able to get some guys for Prasad to play with because early in the season there was a lot of frustration there trying to, you know, he was throwing passes that guys just didn't know were coming.
Right. Most frustrating thing as a point guard is you find someone and they don't give you that assist that you work so hard to get or try to get them. Hasn't had many of those, in fairness to him, this game.
Steven Lazar pulling down the rebound. Fisher pushing. Oh, you know, that's just one of those young plays, right? Left his feet before he had someone to pass to.
Oh, man. That's another
And those are the
pass.
type of passes that, like, earlier in the season, he didn't even throw it because he was worried that would happen. But the team has grown alongside him, so he's been able to kind of get that confidence. But you still see opportunities like that where, you know, just could have been an assist and turns into a turnover instead.
Whenever, as a head coach, you always dream about guys that are playing that next play, next step ahead, and he can definitely be that guy.
And he's a 2020. They got another year of him here, and I know they're going to be building around him for next season. And, I mean, I was talking to the Oakville prep squad, and I said, hey, like, don't look past that win you got against LBA. And there's Steven Lazar downtown from NPA Nationals. And, I mean, it's taken other teams. Ooh, Cam Harris spinning and dropping.
I'll tell you something, Jay. like what I see out of Cam Harris when he's aggressive, when he makes up his mind and says, I'm going to go to the rim and I'm looking to score. Good things happen for Oakville. It's when he's tentative or he's worried about his shot getting blocked, then you see him kind of go softly to the net.
You know how many times I've heard
be that secondary guy.
I've heard on these 2 days, I like what I see from Cam Harris. I've heard it probably 7 times, and a lot of it coming out of that coach's corner over there where we have our post-secondary institutions in attendance here.
And a lot out of them.
Yep, and Cam Harris is a 2022. So, I mean, like, what's that final product going to look like, right?
He already has decent size.
Yep.
He's going to get in the weight room and tighten up, as we mentioned Jacoby Neath had done. He's going to do the same. He'll be there, and you can see there's something there.
Absolutely.
And anytime you see there's something there, that means there's room for growth. I mean, look at that.
Ooh, see, but those are the type of things, right? Just finish.
But it was the right play. He was in the right spot at the right time. He's active. He's talking to the head coach on this side, saying the ball slipped out of his hands. He knows it's his fault. As you said, a couple of years from now, those things won't be happening. That's going to be a highlight reel finish next time.
Yeah, Harris, you mentioned so young. He's very coachable, and not even just from his coach. I've had a couple conversations with him from stuff that I've seen that I haven't really liked from a body language or the way he's acted on the floor. I've been given the okay by the Oakville prep squad to kind of have a chat with him, and very receptive. Just stuff outside of, I'm never going to give you a basketball advice, but just stuff that you see from body language and what coaches see as well, right?
Things that coaches look for. And
yeah, and I mean, if you can learn that at 16 and get that cleaned up that early, man, sky's the limit.
I think oftentimes as we see Fisher talking about young, athletic specimens, when we talk about a 16-year-old, you have to remember they can't even drive by themselves yet.
Yeah.
There's still a lot to learn.
Abdullah pulls it back, kick back out. Morales down low. Harris. Look at Crestwood. They're so fast to the ball. So I mean, like, it's really easy to just think that Crestwood's this team that gets up and down the floor and can dunk on you, but they are after it on D.
Starts with the defensive end. Normally, everyone always clips the footage of the finish, but never the start. And a lot of those highlights that you see on YouTube and social media come from a steal.
Sheared. Harris. Back to Sheared. Nice seal.
It's a tough call.
Is that 3 in the key?
Yeah, it's 3. That's a tough call on Harris. Or check that Tavon Sheed.
It's okay, man. It's your first time on the NPA broadcast. You're a veteran broadcaster, but I mean, you got to learn like 70 new players. By the time championship comes around, you'll be you'll be ready to go, and then we'll have a whole new crew for you to get used to.
Yeah, next year, with the amount of guys that are going to be graduating, and moving on to post-secondary education. Nice cross. Broussard's finding a lot of these guys, and they're not ready to shoot. It's not coming natural to them. They're kind of thinking instead of reacting and missing opportunities.
You can see what a guy like that, you go to the U.S., but maybe don't get the minutes that you need in order to progress because you're, the Canadian that they brought down. Come back here, need to kind of start almost a new program, be that guy from the start. So then you put up with the challenges of guys who, aren't used to playing with that level of player. It's like, it's never a perfect situation. So I have to give a lot of credit to him for, making that sacrifice.
Look at him. So unselfish. That's a gorgeous play all by Prasad. I mean, the basket doesn't go through the hoop. It counts, though. But the second he picked up that basketball, the second he picked up the rock, Jay, his head was up, and he wanted to reward Tavon for running the floor.
Prasad yesterday in that upset win over the London Basketball Academy, and these stat lines have been happening all season with Jordan Prasad. 34 points, shot 50% from the field, okay, 48%, 12 assists, 8 rebounds, 4 steals, and then just 4 turnovers. When you have the ball in your hand that much, you're going to just turn the ball over 4 times just purely by dribbling.
Yeah. And a lot's expected of him.
Yeah.
When he has the ball in his hand. I mean, the offense doesn't go anywhere unless he's kind of driving it. So we see here another opportunity for him to get another assist.
I think what my favorite thing about Prasad is how easily he can pass directly off the dribble. Like, there's no stop. It's just all one motion. And I first saw that at the CNIT last year. And to be able to watch him 12 games this season, it's been impressive. And Elijah Fisher, again, just kind of just doing it as he can.
You kind of just laugh.
Yeah.
And wish you had an ounce of that sort of athleticism at that age.
Oh, you did, Carlin.
I wish.
Don't be modest.
I wouldn't be sitting next to you. I'd be somewhere making money playing the game of basketball.
The lead's at 27 right now with 27 seconds left. I want to say thank you to everybody tuning in online. We are at the midway point of NPA Nationals. 5 games down, got 5 more to go.
Feels like we're just getting started, to be honest.
Yep. Yeah, see those long rebounds. Crestwood just always seem to be in the right place at the right time.
That's a product of being in the zone. It's tough to rebound out of a zone, and when you're giving up size in the first place, it's a hard one. I think that's Graywall's 4th. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, sounds to be the case.
Wow.
Really easy to rack up fouls when you're playing a team like this.
Nice pump fake. We were talking about it off air. Sometimes all you got to do is raise your eyebrows and you can get someone in the air pretty quickly. Morales did a good job there of using the pump fake. Knew that if he had went up with that, that probably would have got obliterated. And now he's standing at the line for 2 shots.
We tried to. We tried to. Yell down.
5 seconds to go here. Morales at the line.
Pretty funny exchange here between Elijah Fisher and Harris. 2 young guys on the court. Just you like to see that camaraderie, even though they're competing, still kind of enjoying that sort of competition.
Here's Fisher, gonna beat the clock.
I don't think he got
Back
it
rim
off.
and out. 60-33 at half. Crestwood, number 2 seeded team at Nationals. Look to be in control. Stay with us. We'll be back after a 10-minute halftime.
The North Pole Hoops Blueprint is a multi-layered system designed for Canadian basketball talent to maximize their potential from grade 5 all the way to the NBA.
The NPH Showcase Circuit is your opportunity to learn the blueprint while joining the NPH family. Our pathway begins with 17 exposure camps across Canada for boys and girls ages 10 to 18. Starting with our foundation that is the Junior NPH Showcase Circuit. This level caters to elementary student athletes in graduation to the high school tier. As a camper, you will have the opportunity to enter the NPH National Rankings, where player profiles are created, acting as online resumes. This database is directly connected to a network of over 150 prep and post-secondary programs. By attending our camps, you will maximize on scholarship opportunities, perform in front of national scouts, and get a chance to learn from elite NBA skills trainer David Tyndale. Entering the showcase environment provides every camper an opportunity to measure their talent against elite-level prospects within their region. Top performers raise their stock and begin their recruitment process with exposure opportunities through national rankings, player mixtapes, and connecting families directly to colleges and university coaches. Regardless of age, gender, or talent level, developing professionalism and positive habits are vital for the success of all campers in life and basketball. The Blueprint tackles academic eligibility, self-reflection, assessment, goal setting, and brand management, all aspects necessary to become a professional on and off the court. The NPH Showcase Circuit takes place between April to December in a player-focused environment, while the Canadian National Invitational Tournament in July brings a team-focused evaluation platform. The CNIT brings 100-plus top-tier club programs from around the world to compete for the national crown. Student athletes continue their journey to the next level as North Pole Hoops invites the network of prep and post-secondary programs to evaluate talent live and direct. As the summer comes to a close, high school season remains a lasting component to a student athlete's pathway. Players who thrive in high school are recruited by prep programs to continue pursuing the next level in a competitive environment. At this stage, North Pole Hoops has identified Canada's top basketball prospects from coast to coast, placing them at programs within the National Preparatory Association. Founded in 2016, this league is quickly emerging as a global destination for the world's elite basketball prospects. Utilizing the exposure arm of North Pole Hoops, comprised of digital marketing, live broadcasting, and scouting, NPH acts as a media and marketing partner for the NPA to maximize exposure for our student athletes, helping gain scholarship opportunities, our ultimate measure of success. Climb the ladder to the next level by joining the North Pole Hoops family and enter the Blueprint.
Indochino to me is a million guys getting a million suits, and each one is different. I think the value is the quality is undeniable in terms of the suit that you'll get, and the fabric and style selection is second to none.
I think when someone puts on a suit, they take on almost a different personality, and they feel comfortable in their skin and who they are, and they feel good. Doesn't matter where you're going, what event you're going to, but everyone feels good in a suit.
I think a lot of what we do is kind of going against the grain, so to speak. Bespoke, made to measure, custom was traditionally only in store. We were the first to bring it online, and as we went through that journey, we really felt that in order to connect with the consumer, we needed to give them true options, really provide a service and an engaging experience that customers would enjoy and remember.
Indochino is a custom-made experience, but with off-the-rack prices. You are in control. So you come on in, you choose what sort of material you're pursuing, choose what sort of print or patterns you really want to try out overall. From there, you pick out what kind of customizations you want to bestow upon these lovely garments, measure you up, and you get to express what you want, tighter, looser, longer, shorter, so everything sits on you as you want. We do everything all in one for you.
We give a 100% made-to-measure product. So it's very sort of individual and very personalized. It's for them. It's their suit.
Seeing them in their final suit just kind of makes it worth it at the end of it, because you spent time with them, and you know, whether they wear suits every day or this is their first suit, it's exciting. Like, you help them build that and it's theirs.
It's really that ability to create a one-of-a-kind garment that allows us to be in front of many different demographics. I think one of the most interesting things that's happened these past few years is how many customers that are having that truly special event of getting married are choosing Indochino to not only suit up themselves, but suit up their groom's party.
We continually improve not only the profile for the guy, but we improve the quality of our next suit and the suits after with the data that we capture. Indochino sets itself apart, especially against ready-to-wear, because we can deliver you a custom-made suit within 3 weeks. We You know, on average, take 3.5 meters to make a suit, and we lay that out and we laser cut it with a vacuum. It's amazing to see, you know, over 200 pieces come together to make a custom-made suit. Whether it be hundreds of linings, thousands of customizations, it's like personalizing a car. And I think we've opened a lot of guys' eyes to that experience, and that is why we have a lot of repeat customers.
The future of retail is really exciting. We're showrooming and building a retail market that's totally cohesive with our online presence and our online e-commerce business. We're making it really easy for customers to shop wherever and whenever they want, whether they're in one of the retail showrooms, being able to look, see, and touch the fabric, or shop online from the comfort of their couch on their tablet or their phone. It's completely up to them where they can experience Indochino.
We truly are inspiring a generation of men to dress differently. We're truly creating a one-of-a-kind garment that is yours, and it really landmarks who you are as a person and what your personal style is.
Golden Dough, it's a family restaurant. We're in Mississauga, been here for 25 years. It's a Middle East cuisine. We make it out of love. We make it fresh. It's very healthy for an athlete to come in to have a nice meal. Sitting around back home, like when you order a big plate or like a small plate, they like to share. A lot of family come together, they sit together. So this is what kind of makes it a family restaurant. Back in the day, my grandpa used to be a baker and he used to run a restaurant. So it's pretty much in my blood. Anybody that comes in will feel like into a family business. Come to Golden Dough in Mississauga, be part of the family.
My name is Grover.
Sean. My name is Ian.
I'm Taylor.
My name is Owen, and I am 9.5 years old.
So Owen was born with a rare genetic disorder called Escobar syndrome.
He's had 33 surgeries to date.
I love video games, my friends, my family, and again, video games.
It's his way of interacting with his friends when he can't physically otherwise do it.
What I like about the adaptive controller is now everyone can play. You can just say, all right, that's that button, that's that button, that's that button. Perfect.
One of the biggest fears early on is, how will Owen be viewed by the other kids? He's not different when he plays.
No matter how your body is or how fast you are, you can play. It's a really good thing to have in this world.
After transforming to meet the challenges of a digital world, never stop. After engineering 3D imaging technologies that help doctors quickly diagnose disease, never stop. And after advancing drug delivery technology expertise to help in the fight against cancer, never stop. And we'll never stop improving the future by building on our core innovations and over 80 years of experience. Never stop. Fujifilm, value from innovation.
parents. We will echo every single thing you're telling your child about the discipline, about the lifestyle that they have to live, and about the focus that they have to have if they want to be successful in life. To be elite, you have to be a well-rounded student athlete and a well-rounded player. When it comes to the off-court element, we focus on three main things: grades, nutrition, and social media. So those are three very important things that will go into the life of a student athlete at the next level and of a pro, and they're things that you need to be aware on how to manage and on how to navigate and understand from.
Back we are here at NPH Nationals, NPA Nationals, Crestwood and Oakville in a battle here. 60-33, Crestwood in front. The fifth game of the weekend, culminating on Saturday night with the national championships. Carlin Gay and my partner Jason Tom, who will re-emerge in a few minutes here. Crestwood in white, Oakville in black. And if you watch the first half, it was all Crestwood, a team that scores a ton of points, easily getting over triple digits in most of their games. They had 60 at half, trending towards 120, and they do it with pressure defense. You saw the nice finish inside a second ago by Luis Pacheco Jr. There's Cam Harris with a good finish. Harris, the leading scorer on Oakville Prep. 14 points and counting. That was a little too easy inside there. It's Prasad. Look. Harris spinning inside, gets his man in the air, takes a bump. And Jacoby Neath vacuums that in. The Wake Forest commit. Gives it away, Prasad. Behind his back, 1-on-2. Has to stick a fork in it, finally does, and gets fouled by Pacheco Jr.
Carlin didn't hold the game for me?
I tried to hold it down while you were gone, JT.
Well, I knew you could. I have to say, the reason I delayed getting back was a good reason.
Let's hear this.
It was because the legendary Kevin Jeffers is now in attendance. And my good friend, the head coach of the Central Tech Blues.
All right.
Bronze medalists at last year's NPA Nationals.
All right, KJ in the house.
I had to give him a bear hug, because that's the only way you can hug Kevin Jeffers, because he's such a lovable human being.
I'll let that one slide.
Yeah.
By the way, I can figure you all that, you know, it's really the fans that suffered by having to listen to me call play-by-play for 2 minutes too long.
Well,
I felt like kind of a diva at halftime, to tell you the truth. I didn't meet Tristan before the broadcast.
Oh.
I had to introduce you didn't even, first of all, you didn't introduce us.
I just thought everybody knew Tristan Jones by now.
That is true.
I've mentioned him so many times on our live broadcasts. Joe Smith getting out the Windex. But yeah, I mean, I've mentioned Tristan Jones so many times on the live broadcast, and I know you're a consistent listener. I thought you would have already known the gentleman to my left, who's also looking very dapper.
Yes, he is. I know him by name.
Yes.
I did not know him by face.
But the nasty text message that he sent me to come back to the desk was completely uncalled for. Jacoby Neath now in transition. Ooh, I like the little fake pass. Nice. Skip and a bounce to Trayvon Thomas for two.
I'm going to shoot Tristan some bail. That probably was me that stole his phone and sent a text. Cam Harris, by the way, is up to 16 points and counting. That's the way you want to see him attack the rim. When we talk about showing flash of a brilliance, that's what we're talking about.
Movement with purpose. Yeah, push on the back by Joe Smith. Joe Smith still so very young And you see Trevon Thomas trying to calm him down.
He'll have some time on the bench now to think about it.
Just over 3 minutes into this third quarter, Crestwood maintaining this sizable advantage. Had some very good competition thus far, but we did know that as we got into the top 2 seeds in nationals, that's where the separation exists. Ooh. That was Luis Pacheco losing his finger guard. I guess he has a ring finger that's a little injured over there.
Saw something fly up in the air. I thought the worst immediately, of course. I thought it was someone's tooth.
Well, this isn't quite that physical of a matchup once Crestwood got out to this much of a lead.
We did say they have been letting them play.
Yes, that's a good point.
Oakville back into that zone. Let's see how friendly it is to this time. There's what we talked about in the first half, giving away the offensive rebounds in the zone. You don't want to give Crestwood.
Oh! Luis Pacheco. Luis Pacheco. You can pronounce it any way you want. Just know that he brings the thunder.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Ooh, Elijah Fisher just got off the wrong foot. Couldn't throw down. Oh, here we go. Thomas off the backboard. Jacoby Neath throwing down. Timeout needed on the floor. The Lions are roaring at NPA Nationals.
Parents, we will echo every single thing you're telling your child about the discipline, about the lifestyle that they have to live, and about the focus that they have to have if they want to be successful in life. To be elite, you have to be a well-rounded student athlete and a well-rounded player. When it comes to the off-court element, we focus on 3 main things: grades, nutrition, and social media. So those are 3 very important things that will go into the life of a student athlete at the next level and of a pro, and they're things that you need to be aware on how to manage and on how to navigate and understand from a young age.
If you're a parent and you don't know too much about the NPA Showcase, you definitely want to sign your kid up, especially if your kid has dreams to play at a high level. They're going to learn a whole lot about building their character. This is not just about basketball. If you're trying to develop a young man or a young woman who's successful in the classroom, who's successful in terms of their...
Shout out the NPH Showcase circuit. Shout out Michaela Richer, who has been here all tournament.
I know who that is. I didn't have to introduce myself to her.
Oh, okay. Oh. I thought everybody knew Carlin Gay as well, so I didn't have to. People would just be like, "Hi, Carlin, I'm Tristan Jones." Prasad, no good. Ooh. Neath almost lost it, got it back. It's nice to see a healthy Jacoby Neath. Dealt with a bit of a knee problem last year, and man, when he is healthy.
It looked like he took a wrong step on that drive, I was going to say. But he seems to be walking fine. I mean, a team like Wake Forest, who got bounced in the first round of the ACC tournament, I have a guard in Teague, a lead guard in Teague, who can create and create for others. Having him and Jacoby Neath in the backcourt next season will be very, very intriguing if you're a Demon Deacon fan.
Ooh, a lot of contact. I mean, if you're Crestwood, you don't want to do anything silly in this game against a team that you're beaten by 35. And this is a thing I've consistently kind of had a back of my mind with Coach Roe Russell. Like, he never takes his foot off the gas.
Yeah.
And in nationals, when you're up 35, at some point you may want to start thinking about that. Maybe not yet. But when he got Lazar from downtown starting to cook.
Ooh. Steve Lazar stroking it from that. Like, he looks confident when he's taking that.
He has had a lot of growth this year. Obviously hasn't needed to have the growth in the physical aspect.
It's about 14 minutes, 25 seconds left in this game, and Crestwood's kind of now looking as though they feel like they had this win secure, and they're looking to kind of go showtime, so to speak. You know, the alley-oops are, you know, everyone's kind of looking and saying, ooh, you missed me on that one. I wanted to throw that one down.
Well, when I'm looking on the baseline over there and seeing the defending champ sitting there watching me, I don't know if I need to
send a message.
Yeah, well, there's two ways. Do you want to send a message, or do you want to get your guys off the floor so they can't see them anymore? Because, I mean, they played once in Ottawa earlier this year. That was a very close game. Final minute and a half, there was a foul call that really swayed the momentum of the game. But, yeah, it's an interesting way to go about it. Which way do you go? I guess it all depends your style as a coach. But, I mean, this is a Crestwood squad that seems to be always wanting to send a message. And, I mean, their team, they have not sat atop the NPH national rankings, team rankings at any point this season. So they would love to finish there, because that's all that really matters at the end.
Lazar is really feeling it.
He's a specialist, that's for sure. He could shoot it. Got to mention, too, as well, that Oakville Prep has had to play without Kovan Armstrong, who injured himself early in the game yesterday, hamstring injury, and he was someone who averaged a double-double through the first half of this season. He has not been able to impact at all here at Nationals. They won despite him, or despite his injury yesterday. But I think when we saw that heavily wrapped leg, we knew that they would be already in tough against Crestwood squad.
What I want to see now out of Oakville is you don't want to give up. You don't want to feel like it's over. I know it's close to a 40-point game, and they're really imposing their will. You know, run through the finish line, as someone once said.
Ooh.
What a block.
Hey, got to give it to Abdullah for taking it.
Too much dancing.
But it resulted in a turnover.
Well, I mean, that's basketball karma, isn't it? You move the ball, you know, good things happen. Normally you get it back. I was a little too much one-on-one, a little mustard on the hot dog, as they say, and he turns it over.
See, Prasad, even when he gets that double team, still very calm under pressure. Out of bounds.
Sheko Jr. still looking at that finger after that guard flew off. It's the left ring finger is what he's looking at. He takes a seat now and probably shouldn't come back into the game unless something drastic happens.
Again, you're watching NPA Nationals live from Sheridan College in Brampton. Cam Harris with 2.
18 and counting for Cam Harris. There's the positive to take away from this game is that Cam Harris came to play. Another rebound for Cam. How about that?
End-to-end skill level Cam Harris has. He's also been able to stay within himself emotionally in this game. He's had kind of an up and down season in that aspect.
That normally happens with youth.
Absolutely.
A lot of pressure playing at this level.
Expectations so high. And a lot of personal expectations. Yeah, personal expectations. And you see in the background walking through there that large gentleman, Casey Zagu. He's here to support his GTA Prep brethren and his blood brother. Also playing on GTA Prep, Benjamin Iziagu. Really nice to see Casey, the reigning NPA Defensive Player of the Year, come in yesterday with a big smile on his face, taking pictures. You know, we absolutely celebrate our alum, and you can go on npacanada.com under photos. We have an alumni page there, and, you know, no matter where you make it at the next level, even if it's not in basketball, always welcome back. Lifetime membership into any NPA session. Love seeing our family come back. Tough finish.
Prasad's so unselfish. He wanted to pass that and knew it probably wasn't the right play to make, so he went ahead and tossed it up at the rim and got rewarded with a nice finish.
Again, we got one more tonight as we finish out our Final Four bracket. Currently, we have Toronto Basketball Academy waiting to see who they play out of this team. Looks like obviously it will be Crestwood, so that'll be an all-Toronto matchup on the right side of the bracket. While on the west side, we have Edge School out of Calgary, Alberta, waiting to see who the winner will be out of a rematch of last year's NPA Nationals Championship final when Canada Top Flight Academy takes on GTA Prep, the 7 o'clock game here tonight.
You were just talking about GTA Prep and how guys, you know, former alum come back and, you know, want to be a part of the league or just to cheer on their former schools. Having a conversation with AJ Lawson, who's down in South Carolina, closer to me.
Name drop.
This season.
City drop.
Yeah.
Lifestyle drop.
Everything. You know, talking about GTA Prep and everything, and he was so interested in what was happening in the NPA, even though he's not playing anymore. The first thing he said when we saw him, Elias Spit and I, and he was like, "Who's the leading scorer? You know, who's winning? Who's?" You know, he just wanted to find out about what's happening at this level. And it just showed me so much. He really did appreciate his time.
Yeah, there's so much mutual respect in this league, and I think you'll see that Saturday for the championships. You'll see so many of our NPA players here, even though they would rather be playing in the game, they'll come here to be able to be celebrated. Campbell from downtown, and that, you know, that's what it's all about. I mean, between the lines, it's all about competition, but in the end, I mean, you know, we're all here for the common goal of, you know, improving the level of basketball in Canada, improving, you know, the exposure opportunities, and getting the opportunity at the post-secondary level.
It's good defense there by Cam.
There's Prasad, one of the leading scorers in the league, and also the league's leader in assists during the regular season was Jordan Prasad at about 7.2 a game. Third quarter comes to an end, a 34-point lead for the Crestwood Lions, the number 2 seed, for a reason. Stay with us. We'll be back after a short break.
We will echo every single thing you're telling your child about the discipline, about the lifestyle that they have to live, and about the focus that they have to have if they want to be successful in life. To be elite, you have to be a well-rounded student athlete and a well-rounded player. When it comes to the off-court element, we focus on 3 main things: grades, nutrition, and social media. So those are 3 very important things that will go into the life of a student athlete at the next level and of a pro, and they're things that you need to be aware on how to manage and on how to navigate and understand from a young age.
If you're a parent and you don't know too much about the NPA Showcase, you definitely want to sign your kid up, especially if your kid has dreams to play at a high level. They're going to learn a whole lot about building their character. This is not just about basketball. If you're trying to develop a young man or a young woman who's successful in the classroom, who's successful in terms of their marketing themselves, social media, whatever it may be, deeper than basketball, you're looking to grow up. And here at NPH, it's bigger than basketball. We're trying to maximize potential as human beings as well as players, you know what I mean? So if they can learn different lessons outside of basketball, and that's the type of environment it is, strictly positivity, strictly uplifting, trying to build better people overall, I mean, sign up and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Our goal for the Showcase circuit is to turn every stone. If you're a prospect, and you deserve the recognition, we're gonna make sure you get it. As soon as you arrive at an NPA showcase, you're gonna feel the energy from the coaching staff. Right after introductions, we're jumping right into it. There's gonna be some elite level competition that's gonna help us filter through the talent.
We're back. See the official about to pass it off on the inbounds beside our Profusion sign. Profusion doing some great work on the solar panel angle. Going to get into the basketball space as we also are powering the future of basketball in Canada with what we do here in the National Preparatory Association.
They can't see it, but off screen I'm clapping for that. The layup and what you just said.
The what?
The layup and what you just said.
Oh, yes.
Nice pass.
Prasad and Harris, man, definitely getting some magic going. I think you'll see Melvin Brown want to keep those two together as the program director here at Oakville Prep.
There's another opportunity for them to team up.
Nah, Prasad will keep it himself. Long two.
There's the next step to his game, finding that jump shot consistently from long range. I think it will open up a lot of things for him. He's already an adept passer, able to cut into the teeth of the defense. If he can just add that jump shot, he's scary. It's good defense. Credit to Oakville. I mean, down 32. There's 10 minutes left in your season potentially, and you come out still giving the 100% maximum effort. That's what you like to see at this level.
Yeah, very undermanned after losing Kovan Armstrong. I mean, that guy eats up a lot of minutes for this squad. Jacoby Neath back out there, bro.
He is.
I say that because when that you went up for that block there, it just looked a little awkward. But Neath is also one of those guys that he likes getting his minutes in there, getting his reps to make sure that he stays in the flow.
Another thing is too, I mean, however long they stay in this competition, this is it for him. He's moving on to the next level after this.
I mean, 3 games in 3 days is not an easy task, but you're right.
Knocks down that first free throw. I mean, you and I both played high school basketball. We'd love to have it back at this point.
Especially if the NPA was around.
Oh my goodness.
I think I could be a pick and pop guy on Oakville Prep.
I'd be sitting on the bench waving the towel, but at least I'd be around.
Joe Smith checking back in after getting into some early foul trouble.
Do they hand out scholarships for good practice guys?
They should.
They should.
They should.
Foundation of a team.
Abdullah kept it himself, taking it into the body. Going to line, looking for the three-point play.
It took a while for Oakville to kind of find that in themselves, to not be afraid of what's inside, not be afraid to get amongst the trees. We're seeing it now, and this is something they could build on for next season. You always want to close the season strong. They may not win the game, but can they win that quarter?
And you just want to, as you said, finish your season on an uplifting note. Yeah, I think that's why we wanted to include our award presentation at the conclusion of all of NPA Nationals. I always felt like at the end of the season, you know, you celebrated the team that won, and you know, and then you kind of, nice attempt. Yeah, you get to the end of the season. Ooh, a little slip down there.
Spill down there.
And you know, you don't. Not everybody has that opportunity to kind of celebrate their season, and that's what I do like about having the awards at the end, is that these players who had these great years and get these individual awards, of course they would rather win a championship, but at least they have an opportunity to have another moment.
A funny moment off camera between Cam Harris and his head coach Michael Smith. Cam took the spill, as you guys saw. We can laugh about it because he's okay. Michael Smith was wondering what happened because all he saw was Cam on the floor and didn't see the actual slip. Maybe we can get that replay to him after the game.
Prasad. It's going to be another solid stat line for Jordan Prasad.
And it leads to timeout from Crestwood. I mean, credit to Oakville, because Roe Russell is not happy with the energy and effort that he's seeing from his team. Granted, they're up, and they probably have the game in their back pocket. Jordan Prasad leading the way. Was on screen.
Want to shout out
in the nation in scoring, #1 in assists. And as we get into the highlight pack here, you see his poise, the ability to finish. We talked about his jump shot, improving that. That's the next step for him. The ability to get into the defense, teeth of defense, and then Michael Smith, his head coach, said one of the best passers in the nation. One of the best passers he had seen at this level. And Prasad's shown that today, despite the scoreline.
Yeah, and I mean, across our entire league, Jordan Prasad, universally one of the most respected players in this league. And I think you see him sharing a bit of a moment with his guys right now. I mean, it's been an up and down year. Playing with a brand new squad, really doesn't know any of these players. Had to grow with them, get through some frustration playing with them, obviously. But Jordan Prasad has grown a lot as a player, as a person this year. He has earned a ton of fans and respect across this league. And I think for me personally, being able to see a kid like this come back from the United States prep school scene and succeed in the NPA is something that makes me very happy. I mean, I first met him in the summertime and just had a quick little chat with him and his father, Ravi, who's also just a tremendous supporter of the league, and obviously his son. And I asked Jordan, I'm like, where are you playing next year? And he said, oh, definitely somewhere in the States. And he didn't know at the time my role here in the NPA. I just said, well, there's a lot of good options up here as well. And he kind of said, well, yeah, there is. I'm like, yeah, just take a look. And I honestly didn't talk to him again. And then Oakville Prep was accepted as a expansion franchise. Prasad from downtown, working alongside Melvin Brown, who, very, very impressive with what he can do off the court. A former player as well from Northern Ohio. And he sent me his roster, and I saw Jordan Prasad on it. So it's amazing how the world works sometimes.
It really is, and this is something, Jay, that we've been around. Like, this is something we see at the CIS level, CCAA level. Guys come back from the States, they go to the States, it doesn't work out for them. They come back home to Canada and finish out at that level. Never at the high school level. This is it doesn't happen. And to see that happen for Jordan and do it early enough where he has enough time to continue to develop with this program, this team, and get the level of play that he's happy with is a huge thing.
Oh,
let's continue to talk about it, right?
I mean, I'm going to do it because we're going to obviously see Crestwood again in this tournament. But, you mentioned that the first name that comes to mind is Jacoby Neath gets another 2. Oh, and coming up with the steal. Why not? 5-point play? No. First name that came to mind when you mentioned about, coming back from the U.S. to U Sports level, Kazakayama Keen.
Yeah.
First name that came to my mind, and now look at him. Played in multiple windows for Team Canada in their berth in the World Cup of 2019 in China. That's a perfect example. A guy who had a heartfelt message when Dave Smart announced he'd no longer be coaching and moving into basketball operations with Carleton. Gave so much respect to what Dave Smart did. And I know Dave Smart went after Kaza after his first year in the NCAA, and again after his second year in the NCAA, and finally got him after his third year. And you mentioned it doesn't happen often in the U.S., in the high school level, and you're right. But another example of a guy who did do that is in this gym right now in Casey Izagu. Went down south, got completely lost, did not have the opportunity to get better as a player. And he ends up coming back here, winning Defensive Player of the Year, and then gets an offer to go play at University of Texas, El Paso.
It's just as another 3 knocked down. I mean, when you talk about sharpshooters, you know, Steven Lazar's numbers don't show that through the regular season. If you take this game alone as Prasad knocks down another 3, that's going to be huge for them to stretch the floor, especially when they go up against, you know, teams with length in the next 2 games if they are able to make it that far. Neath with a good finish there again. Nice.
Ken Osman in the game for the first time.
Yeah, it's a clear path.
Yep.
Should be.
The refs are on it.
Should be a clear path foul, and for those that don't know, that is the FIBA rule. If there's no one in front, it doesn't. And you're preventing a scoring opportunity, it should be a clear path foul, which results in free throws and the ball. It didn't call clear path in this instance.
Oh, they didn't?
They did not.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's a rule too that, I mean, there was a call in Calgary where it was a push in the back and a layup. They said it wasn't a clear path because he was so close to the rim, like it wasn't an intentional foul. Just there's so many weird variations, and I know after 15 years of watching FIBA basketball and Canada basketball myself, for example, I'd have and I do have a good grasp on all of it. It just seems like there's different variations that can occur.
Yeah, Lazar again. We've also been calling it the wrong. It's the intentional foul rule. Clear path is the NBA's rule, right. And that I think that confuses people because you think you have to have a clear pass to the rim, but it's a non-basketball play is really what the foul's in place for. Intentional foul. Carried it.
Fisher called for the carry. Nice. It's a rare call to be made. I like it.
Dusting off the rule book, I guess.
Especially in the high school level.
5 minutes left in Oakville season potentially.
Fisher. INT and finishes.
I started saying 5 minutes left in the Oakville prep season. Ooh, we've seen flashes there again of what they can be, things to build off of, but I think this fourth quarter has to be among those things. The way they came out in this fourth quarter and really, they didn't lay down.
Yep.
They're still playing tough basketball. They're treating this score as if it's 0-0. I think that's a credit to the coaching staff and I guess the top of the program. Send that message to the rest of the league that we're going to be around next year.
And against an elite level team in Crestwood.
Yeah, this is number two team in this tournament, number 2 team in the country. You know, most people are saying that this is a team that could be in the finals on Saturday night.
Well, after this one, they'll be 1 win away.
Really good defensive team, athletes across the board, high major guys.
Our top 4 seeds were given first-round byes, meaning that they only had to win 3 games over 3 days in order to get to the NPA championship game.
I mean, well-deserved. You go through a schedule that the NPA puts out. It's not easy. There's travel involved. You know, there's nothing comfortable about going on the road and winning games. And the top 4 teams went out, did that, proved that they earned those spots. They did deserve those byes, and now it's not only the one thing is getting the bye. Now you have to prove and hold that seed. And so far, it's holding serve.
Yep, the last team to take to the floor for the first time at Nationals will be Canada Top Flight Academy as they take to the floor at the 7 p.m. tip-off, taking on GTA Prep.
As you mentioned, a rematch of last year's final.
Yeah, obviously 2 completely different squads. As Canada Top Flight Academy graduated 6 of their top 9 players, including Aiden Warnholtz, who went to Carleton University, J.D. Muya, who went to Indian Hills, one of the top JUCO in the U.S.
Should we start saying the Carleton University?
The Carleton University.
I mean,
well, how long until they're renamed the Carleton Dave Smarts? just purely out of respect.
It should have happened already. It really.
Well, it's kind of it's difficult to do it while he's still the coach.
Oh, I think you give him that respect.
Oh, he would hate it.
Yeah, he would have.
He would hate it.
He would have.
Wait till they try to name the court after him. Oh.
There's someone sitting there in Ottawa, grew up watching Dave Smart coach 14 national championship teams in 17 years. It's going to create the team in 2K with his face on those jerseys.
Yeah. Exactly. Sheared. Always looks out of control with those long locks, but... Oh, Cash in the jumper.
That looked pure and smooth.
Yeah.
Rocked the baby and stepped right into it and knocked it down.
That was Keyshawn Laddie.
One thing I like about Elijah Fisher, and this time, my first time seeing him in person in quite some time, is that he does when he wants to. He can lock in defensively.
Yes. And that's the next, you know, like so many of these players, especially the athletically gifted ones. It's like when does that become, a calling card for you? And you mentioned A.J. Lawson previously. When he played on the U18 squad at the FIBA Americas tournament that was held in St. Catharines, he wasn't needed to be a scorer on that squad because they had so many. And he became the defensive specialist under Dave Smart as the head coach of that squad. And he was so impressive. And then coming out of that, he got his offer at South Carolina. Frank Martin was there to watch him at the U18 tournament.
And that carried over to the college level as well.
Yep.
He was a guy that we know can fill it up. He's had games where he's gone over 20 and 25. And what kept him on the floor for Coach Martin is the fact that he's going to guard his man. You don't play for Frank Martin if you can't play defense or don't want to play defense.
Because, guess what? Everybody who gets to the NCAA level comes in having scored 30 and 40 for their high school squad. Of
course.
And guess what? Not everybody can score 30 or 40 on the same team at the NCAA level. So what else can you do?
Yeah. Two minutes left, and you can hear Coach Michael Smith saying, there's 2 minutes in the season. Let's make sure we close it out right.
Ooh. Con Osman. Looked like he was trying to come through with that Mo Pete stick back jam.
Osman doesn't get, he hadn't had a ton of playing time in this game, but he's come off the bench, hasn't looked like he's cold. Looking back at his bench, smiling, saying that I wanted to be on the Fujifilm's poster there. We mentioned
at the line.
Yeah, we mentioned how deep this Crestwood team is. Every player on the floor other than Elijah Fisher. Actually, Joe Smith started as well. I was going to say most of the players on the floor did not start this game, but they're closing it.
They roll deep, do these Lions, absolutely. And they look to have punched their ticket to the NPA Nationals semifinal, where they will be taking on their natural rival, the Toronto Basketball Academy, two schools separated only by about 20 kilometers. In and out for Jordan Prasad. Ooh, see, those are the things that Fisher had practiced that a million times in practice. Try to pull it out here, went off his foot.
There's also no need for him to try and have that moment. You're up a bunch, less than a minute left, or close to a minute left in the game. It's time to run your offense. You got to run a set there. He was just so hungry to put someone on a poster.
We're through almost 3 of our 4 games today. One more to go to round out our final 4.
Tell you what, for the fans that are watching right now, Lazar is a guy that I'm pegging is going to be an X factor in the next 2 games if Crestwood is able to get that far. His ability to knock down jump shots is really going to open up the floor for their athletes. And if he can rebound like he just did there at the 3 spot,
yeah,
that's going to be tough.
Yep. Everyone getting sloppy now in the final minute. Oakville, though, battled hard to keep this one respectable. Trying to think coming into this one what my spread would have been. 25 probably would have been it.
Right.
And just, you know, based off the fact that Oakville didn't have Kovan Armstrong. You hear the bench saying no fouls. There's Prasad getting after it for the over and back.
Talk about closing the season strong. That's how you do it. Leave the floor on a good note.
Absolutely.
You can see why he has garnered the, you know, recognition and the love from those who have watched this league all season long. As he attacks again and gets fouled and go to the line for 2. I wanted him to be more aggressive throughout the game in terms of looking for a shot. He's done that in the second half as well, so there's a lot to work with for him.
Yep, Oakville making sure to, even though they're going to end up on the losing end, want to try to finish on a positive note for their debut season in the NPA and their first season in existence. Putting things together, and a lot harder than it seems. All the things that have to go on behind the scenes as a program administrator. As
yeah, it's a technical foul.
Joe Smith dunks and hangs on and gets teed up.
I mean, the refs had to call that one.
Absolutely.
It was no need for it. Joe Smith wanted to pound it. He's been wanting that dunk all game long, and I felt that it wasn't a disrespectful thing. I think that was just a, I finally got my dunk that I wanted all game long, and it happens. A learning experience for Mr. Smith.
Here's Prasad. Kick out. Morales, long 2. No good. Smith pushing it back the other way.
Ooh, that should be a jump ball. That should have been a jump ball in my opinion.
I would have called it a jump ball just purely out of time and place in the game. You're not going to dribble that out. I'm calling that a jump ball.
Well, you talked about it off the air. You know, Crestwood will get over triple digits in most games that they played. They played their style. You know, they imposed their will on the other team and kind of give you haymakers, really. You know, from the opening tip, it's full court press right off the gate. Ooh, force you into turnovers. That's why you said, you know, 6 of the top 10 steals leaders in the entire nation. There's one of the best defensive teams in this league. Their size, their length, all the ingredients are there for them to be holding the national championship trophy at the end of the game on Saturday. Can they finally put it all together is going to be the question going forward, JT. And we saw an impressive performance for them today.
111-86, Crestwood Preparatory College with the win. Oakville Prep's debut season in the NPA is over. Stay with us at 7 p.m. The defending champs, Canada Top Flight Academy, will be taking on GTA Prep, a rematch of last year's NPA National Championship.